Babers has been a college football coach for over 3.5 decades at 15 different schools. That's right, 15 different schools. 2 of those schools he was a graduate assistant for, 10 of them an assistant coach, and the last 3 schools a head coach, and had success at Eastern Illinois, guiding that team to the FBS playoffs in the 2 years he was there, and at Bowling Green of the MAC Conference. And by the way, in 2015, guiding Bowling Green, the Falcons, to a conference championship. So, like I said, he knows how to win. But now at Syracuse, entering year number 3, he's finding out that Power 5 football, it's massive. As a matter of fact, back-to-back 4-8 seasons for Babers with the Orange, although last year it looked like maybe they were ready to break through after the upset win over Clemson to go to 4-3, only to see the Orange sour out by losing their final 5 games. And it was an offense that featured a pretty good air attack, but a defense that had massive struggles. Looking at the offense this year, you do return Eric Dungey for his senior season, a guy that's been asked to do quite a bit. In fact, I think more than his fair share, in my opinion. Decent stats last year, did have 14 touchdown passes, almost 2,500 yards, but did have the 9 interceptions. Dungey also was the team's leading rusher with almost 600 yards on the ground and 9 TDs. So he accounted for 23 total touchdowns. Now, keep in mind, though, that Dungey has not gotten through a season injury-free. He's had to deal with the concussion issue, which he had to deal with last year. So Rex Culpepper was called upon in relief duty, but Culpepper has had to deal with his own adversity, diagnosed not long ago with cancer. But his family over the summer said that he is cancer-free. But it looks like Tommy DeVito could very well be the backup. DeVito, by the way, a redshirt freshman. But the running game, like I said, it was Dungey who was the leader in that department. You'd rather see an actual running back lead the team in that category. Mo Neal was the leading rusher amongst running backs in 2017, 488 yards, did have 5.3 yards per carry. That's good. Dante Strickland had 482 yards rushing, the senior, but only averaged 3.8 yards per carry. The passing game for Syracuse in 2017, well, it was one of the best in college football. As a matter of fact, it was second best in the ACC, 267 yards per game through the air. But you not just lose one receiver, but you lose another receiver. The top 2 wideouts have departed. Steve Ishmael as well as Urban Williams combined for 192 catches. So that production will be massively missed. A huge omission. So Devin Butler, who had 33 receptions and a touchdown last year at 327 yards receiving, he becomes the number 1 guy. Nakeem Johnson also is back as well. And one of the better tight ends in the ACC does return. I think he'll get even more participation. That is Ravian Pierce, 29 catches last year for 263 yards. Offensive line returns everybody except for one player, Cody Conway. You get him back at the left tackle position. Also, Evan Adams at right guard. And in addition for this Orange team, Coda Martin, they're getting him from Texas A&M. The Orange last year, pass protection, it was the worst in the ACC. They gave up 32 sacks. The Orange defense, this was big-time sour in 2017, a unit that was dead last in points allowed per game at 32 and second worst in the ACC in total yardage allowed with 444. Big problem for this Orange team was not getting to the quarterback, only 16 sacks. In addition, turnover margin stunk, 8th worst in the country out of 130 teams, minus 12 in turnover margin. We're going to begin with the secondary, which only had 4 interceptions in all of 2017, but you do get back the leading returning tackler, Evan Foster, the safety, had 64 stops a year ago. And you get both corners back in Chris Frederick. Frederick had 43 stops in 2017. And the other corner, Scoop Bradshaw, he's back. Linebackers, well, these were the top 3 tacklers in 2017, and you lost them all. So Syracuse will heavily depend upon JUCO transfers, Ryan Guthrie as well as Lakeem Williams. And the defensive line, you get 3 of the 4 back. Alton Robinson, he had 5 sacks and 30 tackles in 2017. Also, Chris Slayton, he returns, 320-pounder. He had 28 tackles. And at defensive end, you have Kendall Coleman. As far as special teams, well, probably the best punter in all the ACC in Sterling Hoffrichter. And he'll handle double duty, both punting and place kicking. Now let's take a look at the Syracuse schedule. Could very well be a 3-1 start before the Clemson game. You got Western Michigan and Wagner, so 2-0, not out of the realm of possibility. But you get Florida State for the conference opener. Yeah, don't see a W there for the Orange. The following week, Connecticut, do see a victory there. And then after the UConn game, the next 8 games, I don't see the Orange being favored whatsoever. You have Clemson. Yeah, that was the game last year that really caught our attention because the Orange pulled off the upset at the Carrier Dome. However, you know the Tigers will be waiting at Death Valley for that one the last Saturday of September. And you can look at the rest of the schedule, matchups back-to-back with the North Carolina schools in late October. And then Bronx, New York, home of the Yankees. You'll play Notre Dame on November the 17th. But if you look at those last 8 games, like I said, Syracuse, they're going to be an underdog in all of them. Just too many deficiencies for the Syracuse team for me to believe that they're going to escape last place. Dino Babers is going to have another rough season with the Orange. I'll look for Syracuse to finish 7th in the Atlantic Division. That's my look at Syracuse. We'll see you next time.